going to try and change that. You see Salinas that we talked about in the midfield for the Mocs, and for the Paladins, you've got Madison Luckett up top. And we are underway. Paladins in all white, and the Mocs wearing the navy blue with the yellow sleeves. In fact, and it's almost impossible for me to get my head around that. It doesn't matter how mismatched two teams are. You play 29 times in anything, you're going to get a tie or a win someplace. The Mocs have never been able to do that in this series, so they've got a couple of things that they could do. Find a way to get a regular season title in the Southern Conference, and again, beat or even get a draw from a Furman team would be a huge victory for them.
Yeah, and you know, the story of the season for the Chattanooga Mocs has been history-breaking, record-breaking. Yeah. This is probably the best season in the history of their program as far as the Southern Conference goes. As you said, today with a win, they lock up the sole possession of the regular season title in the SoCon. Would be a big step for the coaching staff, for Coach McKinney, and, you know, would be a big step for the program as a whole. So today, why not break another streak? Why not do something that they have never been able to do in the past? On top of that, they've got a chance to get a result against the Furman Paladins for the first time in 30 matchups over the tenure of both programs.
Also a point of note, Shania Diaz, who is the motor in the midfield for the Paladins, she is not eligible to play today because of yellow card accumulation. So Furman's going to have to do it without one of their team leaders if they're going to find a way to get some points here today.
And it'll be a big challenge to the rest of the Paladin midfield. You know, some players that we see as squad rotation girls stepping up into a starting role today, a little bit of a different look formation-wise and personnel-wise for Furman in the lineup today. So exciting times to be a Paladin fan because you got a lot to play for. You know, and Coach Burr's squad usually rises to the moment in matches like this.
Mocs winning the possession battle early. Another interesting statistic is that Chattanooga has scored 15 goals in 15 games this season. They've conceded 16 goals, so they're actually in a negative goal differential, but at the top of the Southern Conference standings, and that's very unusual as well. Yeah,
it's just been a crazy season for Chattanooga all around, but, you know, one of the pillars of being a great team is being able to win those close matches, and that's something that Chattanooga's consistently done. A lot of one-goal wins over the course of the season. They've really bunkered down when they needed to the most and been able to, you know, come out with the results. So you got to give credit to the coaching staff. You got to give credit to the players. When it's mattered the most, Chattanooga has been able to eke out those results.
Yeah, Chattanooga has only scored more than one goal in a match 3 times all season long. If you look down their last handful of matches, it's 0-0 draws, it's 1-0 wins, it's 1-1 draws. They're just not doing a lot of goal scoring, but they're not giving up any goals either. So you'd expect this to be something similar, right? 1-0, 0-0, something like that today. But the Mocs do have that added incentive to try and pick up the 3 points so that they could be outright champions for the regular season this year. And to give you something to compare it against, Furman has scored 33 goals this season. Chattanooga scored 15. So Furman has scored almost twice as many goals as Chattanooga. Now Furman has also conceded 22 goals versus the 16 goals that Chattanooga has conceded. So soccer can be a weird game sometimes. Paladins trying to work the possession. A lot of contact, no call from the ref. Again, Mark Childress here with Fax and Childress. This will be our final regular season women's broadcast this year. Had a lot of fun hanging with you guys a lot this year. Just Chamber of Commerce day, 70 degrees, very slight breeze. Hard to be nicer than that, especially Faxon after our chilly game in the low 40s on Friday night. This is pretty much the polar opposite of that.
Yeah, you know, you get the afternoon game instead of the night game and come out, it's about 70 degrees and sunny. Picture perfect weather and, you know, just a great day for some soccer.
And again, I'll try and keep my eye on the other matches as we go today. It's as simple as if Furman wants to avoid the Thursday play-in game, They need to get a win, or the Tuesday play-in game for the Southern Conference Tournament. They need to find a way to get a victory today. Even a tie would not guarantee them getting out of that. And you see the Southern Conference Tournament starting on Tuesday. 9 plays at 8 and 10 plays at 7. Furman is currently 7th. That is not the round that you want to get in. You want to get in the top 6 seeds, so you don't have to worry about that first round and can start focusing on your quarterfinal matchup and go from there. And Chattanooga obviously would like to win the regular season and guarantee that all of their postseason games would be played at home. Oh, nice individual move, shot into the box, stays on the ground for a while. Paladins can't clear it, and it almost costs them. That was Caroline Rizvalski. Boy, Furman tried with the clearance and couldn't get it out. Chattanooga almost pounced on it.
Yeah, and they're still threatening, trying to cross one back into the box. That'll be dealt with by Furman, but an early scare here in the first 6 minutes. UTC does a great job of attacking and just sticking with it right there. Furman tries to clear it out. Rizvalski is right there and able to deflect it down and fire another shot.
Paladins clear it. Chattanooga going to try to bring it right back in. It's going to go all the way into Nora Sampson. Does a good job of grabbing it. Again, Sampson has moved into that starting goalkeeping role right around the halfway point of this season. Mocs just coming in waves, and after the game against Sanford on Friday night, Furman really needs to figure out something to do on the offensive end. Well, you can enjoy fresh and healthy Mediterranean cuisine at Parsley and Mint, located across from Publix and University Square. Parsley and Mint serve scratch-made cuisines such as spicy garlic hummus, whipped feta, and lamb kofta. Parsley and Mint, eat interesting. As I was saying, Faxon, it wasn't just that you lost to Sanford in the fashion that you did on Friday night, 4-0. Paladins legitimately could get absolutely nothing going offensively. They need to start getting some possession in the offensive end, get some shots on goal. Obviously, trying to find a way to get one in the goal would be very helpful. But they've got to be pretty dejected about how poorly it went on the offensive end for themselves on Friday night.
It was a rough watch, to be fully transparent. Furman really could not get anything going offensively. For some context, I know we've probably got a lot of Mocs fans that are watching today and supporting the program. The Mocs have as many shots in this game already as Furman did their entire last match against Sanford, for some context. So Furman only able to put 2 shots on the board the entire 90 minutes against Sanford. A 4-0 loss here at home at Edstone Stadium, and it was probably the worst game I've ever seen Coach Burr's squad play. They looked completely lost the entire night. Very uncharacteristic for a Furman squad that's usually the pillar of the Southern Conference and sets the standard so high. So a big bounce-back match here potentially for the Paladins. You know, you need to pick up some momentum to feel more confident in your squad going into the Southern Conference Tournament, especially if you are playing in that first dreaded Tuesday matchup where you're having to play the 7-10 or the 8-9 matchup. You know, Furman's not out of the woods completely with getting a home game either. They could have to go on the road as the 9 seed to the number 8 if they were to lose this match here today, and some other things were to shake up around the Southern Conference that didn't favor Furman. So really important and crucial for the Paladins today that they get a result, not only for momentum's sake, but to avoid that 7-10 or 8-9 matchup.
Well, here's the start of just what we were talking about. Ashlyn Goyla is going to take the corner kick, the first one of the match for either team. Paladins would love to get on the board first and put all the pressure on the Mocs. Goyla goes short with it. Gaither can't handle it. Paladins try to serve it right back in. Goyla throws it in far with a header. It's going to be cleared out by the Mocs. So that was a nifty little play that almost paid off for Furman.
Yeah, it looks like Madison Luckett was lurking back post too. Good job by the Mocs defense to be able to clear that one out, but the Paladins still threatening as Luckett's going to try and swing one in.
That's going to end up being a goal kick. So first real opportunity of the match for either team, and Farr with a nice header.
It's a good flick on from Hannah Farr right there.
I'd like to see Luckett maybe crash that back post.
Yeah. Looked like maybe there was a little bit of a miscommunication there. Luckett might have thought Farr was shooting. Farr might have been flicking that on back post. And then a really good job by Zoe Mize to thwart that attack. The freshman for UTC ends up playing it off of Luckett's leg, goes out for a goal kick. But Furman will gain possession again in the midfield and then draw a free kick in a dangerous position.
First whistle of the match on either team as we're a little bit over 10 minutes in. Looks like Maggie Miller will take it. These almost straight on free kicks are always awkward. It's difficult to see what you can do with it.
Yeah, and it's Miller stepping up to take it, as you said. You know, Shania Diaz usually the one to take all the set pieces for the Paladins, so a little bit of a different look. They're going to swing it out to Robertson, who's going to try and flick one in, and it's thwarted by the Mocs back line.
Paladins trying to push it right back in. They come up with possession again. So, Baxton, right as you and I started talking about how important some possession in the Mocs end of the field would be, and for Furman to start seeing if they can make some things happen offensively, they have stepped up here the last 2 or 3 minutes.
Yeah, it's just a lot more aggression and energy from Furman here this afternoon. I mean, even right there, you see Ashlyn Goyla putting her body on the line along the end line to try and save it from being a goal kick. Ends up getting the ball cleanly. Hannah Farr wins a 50-50. It trickles out of bounds, and Furman's got a chance here in the offensive end. And Farr, this is where she excels, is with her back to the goal using her size.
A fantastic move, just one too many defenders. The Mocs trying to clear it out and give themselves some breathing room.
And you mentioned it a little bit previously. This UTC team, yes, they're at the top of the SoCon, and that's for good reason. But they've been grinding out a lot of these results in 1-0 matches or getting a 1-1 tie when they need it, maybe a 2-1 win. This is a team that's only scored 15 goals all season. So this is not, you know, a Samford or a Furman in which they're at the top of the conference in goal scoring, but they also may give up a lot of goals on the other end. This is a team that's really predicated on playing defensive soccer, and, you know, they trust their back line and they trust their goalkeeper to be able to get them points and get results, and they want to do just enough offensively to win it. So if you're Furman here, goals are going to come at a premium in this match because this is not a defense that gives up a lot of goals, but you also know that at the same time, while they do have playmakers offensively, this isn't a Samford that's coming at you that's going to score 4 goals.
Also important, I think, especially with as much as at stake for this Chattanooga team, a team that doesn't score a lot of goals and relies on the defense. If the Mocs could find a way to get an early lead in this match, 1-0, they're probably going to go back and park the bus and make it as difficult as possible on the Paladins. And you don't want to be in that position. So the team that scores first could have a huge advantage here, even more so than normal on this beautiful Sunday afternoon.
It's a really good ball forward there. It didn't look like Luckett could quite corral it, though.
And I like what you said a minute ago, Faxon. There is a lot more energy. There is a lot more high pressure than we saw at all against that Samford squad. Now, to be fair, that Samford squad is really good.
Yeah.
They are going to be difficult to beat in the Southern Conference tournament, and if they are the team that represents the Southern Conference in the NCAA tournament,
watch out.
Yeah, I'm just telling you right now, be careful.
That's a team with just so much poise offensively. They're so well coached with Coach Yelton, and, you know, their back line just does such a great job of keeping their shape. You know, as bad of a performance as it was from Furman, Samford really was just that good.
Yep, I agree. Mocs putting together some pressure of their own. Shot defended well by the Paladins. Mocs keep the possession. Paladins clear it out off of Robertson and out of bounds. That's Maggie Shaw. The defender from Columbia, South Carolina, comes up with the throw. Luckett kicks it off one of the Mocs out of bounds. So when you think about how you come up with the mascot for your school, you don't think footwear a lot, right?
No.
I mean, you've got moccasins, but it works. Like, I like Mocs. I think it's interesting. I'm assuming there's no other footwear-themed mascots in sports, are there?
We're probably missing
Am I not
someone.
thinking broadly enough, or is there something really easy that I'm missing? But it works.
I mean, do you count the Red Sox or the White Sox?
Yeah, I mean,
That's technically foot-related.
Yeah, I guess you would have to do that. You would have to.
But it's not a shoe. That's a sock.
Correct.
Replacing number 7, Madison Luckett.
And you have the Blue Hose from Presbyterian, also
lower
leg or foot related. So there you go. But again, I like it. It works really well, especially when you abbreviate it down to Mocs.
It rolls off the tongue.
It does. So replay in the lower box. Well defended. The Paladins get the goal kick.
Replacing number 23, Ashlyn Guella.
Faxon, you and I saw one of the best basketball games I've ever seen in person in the Southern Conference Finals on the men's side back a few months ago, where the Mocs beat the Paladins on a three-pointer at the buzzer to advance to the NCAA. Is just an absolutely heartbreaking way to go down for Furman. And again, an amazing game, and those two teams may be the class of the conference again this year.
Yeah, and you know, for UTC, so much talent was on that team. You know, talking about Malachi Smith, a guy that's probably going to the NBA.
Yep. Mocs in the box, got to be careful. Ball deflected and is going to go out of bounds. They're just going to kick it out of bounds. So that offensive attack continues to build up for the Moccasins. Almost led to a great opportunity.
Yeah, and right here we see just a good job of getting into the box. A great ball. Just missing that was Clarissa Salinas, who we talked about in the pregame. You know, she's in a position there to score a goal 100%. It was just a little bit too far out in front of her. She's able to get her right foot on it, but not really in a shot form. It ends up being cleared out of bounds. And oh, the post is done there for the Mocs, and Furman dodges a bullet.
Incredible set piece that almost led to glory for the Moccasins, and they keep the offensive intensity coming. Well, that's going to be a throw-in for Furman. It looks like Mackenzie Smith with the header just off the side of the post. Unbelievable.
Hey, you're seeing right now why Mackenzie Smith's the leading goal scorer for the team that's at the top of the conference. She comes flying across just outside the 6, heads it far post, and just not able to put one in the back of the net. It barely dings off the post, but what a shot from Mackenzie Smith, and what a bullet dodge for Furman. I mean, there was nothing Nora Sampson could do right there.
Smith, the sophomore from Tennessee. Paladins just clear it out, and I don't blame them. Hannah Farr. You mentioned it a few times, Faxon. She's so good with her back to the goal and just using her big frame to shield off the defender, be able to accept the ball in possession. One of the best I've seen.
Yeah, that's definitely where her value comes to this Furman squad. It's just giving a different look, a different profile player up front. You know, when you have Nieva Gaither and you have some of these other attackers that are shorter and they're better on the dribble, and when Shania Diaz is playing as well, you know, you've got these quick, low-profile players. They're low to the ground, and, you know, their speed, their go. They're going to beat their man one-on-one. That's not really Hannah Farr's, you know, shtick. Her shtick is more, you know, let me drop back as kind of a false 9. Sometimes I'm going to play out on the wing. Let me win the ball in the midfield using my size, and then, you know, survey and make a pass and then make a progressive run forward. So she provides a different element to the Paladin attack, and you will see her with her back to the goal a lot. That's really what she likes to do, and she's good at it, because you saw, you know, down here, the best opportunity for Furman thus far was when she kind of had her back to the goal, had a body feint. You see her right there win it with her back as well. But, you know, she really does a good job at that, and that's where her main strength comes for this Furman Paladin squad up front.
Paladins turn it over. Mocs give it right back. Ellie Johnson will draw the whistle. Actually, that foul will go against Johnson, so it'll be a free kick for the Mocs. So again, you can feel the energy from both teams, even though that hasn't led to a ton of offensive opportunities yet. Obviously, the big last one for Chattanooga, but not much for Furman so far.
Yeah, and 20 minutes in, Furman yet to register a shot. So, you know, while the eye test would say it's been better today for Furman, on the stat sheet, still coming up empty in the shot department.
And that's 3 or 4 times that Furman's tried to clear the ball out. The Mocs are being so aggressive that Furman's kicking it off one of their players instead, and a little bit of extra hustle, it looked like there from Zoe Mize, leads to a corner kick, the second one of the game for Chattanooga.
Yeah, and right there, Mize does a good job of just coming up from her spot, receiving the ball off of the clearance, and then drawing a corner, creating an extra opportunity for this Mock squad, who had a really good chance off a corner earlier off the head of Mackenzie Smith.
Nora Sampson leaps out there, knocks the ball down. Tries to get the Paladins quickly on a run out. I like the aggression there, especially for a team that's been struggling. As you see Sampson, lower part of your screen, jump up, get her hands on that one.
Really good claim, yeah, just a good job. And, you know, when you see Mackenzie Smith scare you a little bit off the last corner kick and have that header off the post, you got to play the corner kicks a little bit more aggressive. UTC obviously has a strategy implemented off of those set pieces to create dangerous chances. Sampson does a really good job adjusting, comes out and claims it, and makes sure there is no danger for Furman in their own end.
Farr tries the through pass, nobody home. Lead to a goal kick. Caroline Eckern, the freshman, in goal for Chattanooga. She goes with the all-green kit with the fluorescent green gloves. Well played defensively for Chattanooga. That's Maggie Shaw. Being very physical with Nieva Gaither. Coming out on the winning end. Wonderful overlap pass. Could lead to a good opportunity for Chattanooga. They fire one into the box. It's going to go all the way through and out of bounds, as we're right at the halfway point now of half number 1. No score between Chattanooga and Furman. Mark Childress here with Facts and Childress. So much at stake for both of these teams in positioning in the standings for the Southern Conference Tournament, which begins on Tuesday. Chattanooga can clinch a tie for the regular season title if they can get a draw here today. If they get a win, they clinch it outright. Furman can finish anywhere from a tie for 4th all the way down to 9th, depending on how they go. And if they want to, you know, avoid that first round game, it's the 7 seed versus the 10 seed and the 8 seed versus the 9 seed on Tuesday. Furman's going to have to get at least a draw to be able to do that. But realistically, Furman needs to win if they want to avoid that game, or have the chance to avoid that game. Again, you see them feed Hannah Farr with her back to the goal, which leads to a nice breakout for Furman. There's Gaither. Tries to slide one through to Farr. Farr hits the shot into the back of the net for the goal. And the Furman Paladins are up 1-0, exactly what Furman needed.
And what a great job by Nieva Gaither right there to receive the ball and immediately gets to her spot, makes a great ball in behind to Hannah Farr. Farr fires one in the back of the net. 1 shot, 1 goal for Furman. It's all they needed, and what a pass right here from the reigning SoCon Player of the Year, Nieva Gaither. Great left foot finish from Hannah Farr. 1-0 Paladins.
That is maybe the most athletic play I've seen from Farr all season, and it came at the absolute perfect time. Furman gets what they need. The 24th minute goal is actually credited to Hannah Farr. The assist will go to Nieva Gaither. And Furman, boy, especially after we watched that struggle on Friday night, almost feels like a relief to see one go into the net.
Yeah, and that all started with Hannah Farr, receiving the ball in the midfield, makes a good pass back. Furman pops it out to the wing, and Nieva Gaither just does what she does best. She generates everything for this Furman Paladin offense, it seems. Reigning SoCon Player of the Year for a reason, just so dangerous on the ball. A dime to Hannah Farr, who puts one in the back of the net.
That was her 8th assist of the season, the 3rd goal of the season for Farr. Chattanooga trying to get a shot off. Furman comes out with it. So Furman on top, 1-0. Early on against the #1 team in the conference, Chattanooga. Long ball into the box, headed out by the Paladins. You talked about the energy that we've seen from Furman this whole match so far, Faxon, a lot better than we saw on Friday night. The back line is being a lot more active as well, being very aggressive.
Oh, 100%. And, it just, from top to bottom, Furman just looks a lot better. I know they've only got one shot, and it is the reason that they're up 1-0 on the scoreboard, but there's just a lot more cohesiveness as a unit, it feels like.
Yes.
The passing lanes seem more open, and UTC is a squad that has struggled to score at times this year. So to get that first goal, kick it off to a right way for the Paladins here, it's absolutely pivotal. But Chattanooga is a team that leads this conference for a reason. They've got a chance for a share or an outright win of the conference. They're going to fight back with everything they've got. They know the importance coming into Stone Stadium today, and they know what they need to do to get that result. So I think that UTC's definitely got attacks coming, with Mackenzie Smith, with Salinas. Furman, it's just about staying the course right now, keeping your shape defensively. You've got to find a way to get a result today to avoid that Tuesday matchup, but definitely off to a good start here.
Chattanooga suffered their first loss in conference play of the season on Friday night against Wofford. So they came into these two matches against Furman and Wofford really probably just needing to, and a great shot from way outside of the box. Nora Sampson didn't want to let that one go by. I think it might have been out of bounds either way, but she makes the right play, hits it over the end line. It'll be a corner kick for Chattanooga. But Chattanooga really coming in and probably needing just one win in these two matches to be Southern Conference champions. You lose on Friday night, and now you find yourself in a deficit here on Sunday. Corner kick in. Sampson goes up and grabs it.
Yeah, and after that first corner kick from Chattanooga, Nora Sampson has been very aggressive out of her goalie box, and as she should be, because there are aerial threats for this UTC squad. We saw it with Mackenzie Smith coming across and banging one off the post early on a corner kick. Sampson has done a great job of adjusting and is really doing a good job of keeping the Paladins out of danger on set pieces. You see the replay in the bottom right hand of your screen right there. Great job by Sampson to come claim that one.
Samford up 2-1 over Wofford. That could have a big impact on both of these teams. The Citadel up 3-1 over VMI early in that match. That could also have an impact on the Paladins. ETSU and Western Carolina are scoreless. UNCG and Mercer are scoreless. Here, Furman on top 1-0. Well played defensively for Furman as they just clear one out. They had a lot more time there than I think they thought, but not necessarily ever a bad choice to just blast one upfield and out of bounds. Maggie Shaw, who's been very active today in her role, secures another throw in. Robertson steps in. The Paladins continue the aggressive play defensively. Chattanooga with a quick throw. Boy, almost caught Furman napping just a little bit. It did not end up costing him, though.
I think it was against Coastal Carolina, if I'm not mistaken, that we saw Furman get scored on exactly like that. But big chance here for Furman. Nieva Gaither's in space. That's always dangerous.
Paladins on the counterattack. Gaither from outside of the box goes underneath the arm of the goalkeeper and out of bounds. I guess she got a piece of it. Looks like a corner kick for Furman.
Yeah, and Caroline Eckert in net does a good job of ranging to her right there, our left, gets that right paw on and is able to take a goal away from Nieva Gaither. But Gaither takes on 3 defenders, still gets to her spot, and that shot was bound to curl into that bottom left-hand corner if Eckert didn't do a good job of parrying it out. So good save there by Chattanooga. Furman does a good job of countering really quickly, and that's what you got to do on counterattacks. You got to get the ball to your best player, and your best player in space. Nieva Gaither is just so dangerous in space and gets the shot off, but really good save by Eckert to rob her.
Cameron Whitaker, Valentina Mosquera into the match for the Paladins, their first substitutes. No substitutes made by the Mocs yet. All into the box, in the air for a long time, cleared out by Chattanooga. Eckert not very active in goal on that. She let that ball go right over her head. Could have spelled disaster for Chattanooga. The Mocs are quickly building some numbers for a counterattack of their own. Paladin defense shuts that down.
Yeah, you hear Coach Burr shouting time as to not a rush of clearance there, and instead, you know, pick out a player to pass to. It's exactly what Ben Goff does at the back.
Well played. Ben Goff, one of numerous freshmen getting a ton of action for the Paladins this year.
Substitutions in the 30th minute.
Only 4 seniors on this entire team for Furman. Nora Sampson in goal, Julia Nicholas, Cameron Whitaker, and Riley Parsons. So a very young team for Furman. We saw the conference standings earlier. Mercer and Samford are 2 teams that if they could find a way to win today, could end up winning the conference or tying Chattanooga for the conference title. So there's a lot of folks, a lot of fans of all these schools doing exactly what we're doing, Faxon. Obviously, we're watching our match, and that's the priority. But we're keeping our eye on all these other matches and the way that it will impact the standings and the setup for the tournament next week.
Yeah, there are really infinite combinations as to how the SoCon could end today, based on
make your head explode.
Yeah, we couldn't run you through every single, you know, if this is a draw, if this is a win, or if this team wins, then this is how it shapes up. But the bottom line is, UTC needs a win today to clinch the outright sole possession of the Southern Conference. A loss today would be detrimental for their chances to win the conference or get a share of it. Furman trying to avoid that 7-10 or 8-9 potential matchup by getting a result here today against Chattanooga.
So a brief stoppage of play from Kyle Johnston, the head referee, to explain something to one of the Mocs players. Long ball into the box. Good grief. It's almost a shot on goal from out there, but Eckern snags it. That was a blast.
Yeah, and a good ball in. It's dangerous, too. Hannah Farr kind of appealing for a penalty there. It looked like there was some hand fighting in the box, but nothing doing.
There's another whistle. Looks like we might have another stoppage of play from the head referee. He's taking the time here. He did just a minute ago, and he's doing it now. We're going to stop the clock. We're going to talk about the physicality between these 2 players. Gets him to make up. That's Avery Catlett and Hannah Farr. Both of them had a hold of each other. And a little bit of shoving from Farr. She's a little bit lucky that it didn't end up in with a yellow card. And another.
You are outside your mind.
So referee speaking to the coach. And somehow that ended up going against Chattanooga, and you could hear the feedback from Gavin McKinney. Furman will take the free kick.
Yeah, Coach McKinney kindly put it that the referee's out of his mind.
Yes.
For that call, but the contact was originally on the Mock defender. Hannah Farr definitely with some extracurricular activity shoving after the play, but original foul was on Chattanooga. I think that was the correct call.
Furman keeps the possession. Back into the box. Oh, that's a couple of times they've tried to fire one back door and couldn't quite connect. Furman keeps possession. Shot from outside of the box, and Ellie Johnson just didn't hit it very well, but she had a nice opportunity. Chattanooga starts with a run out of their own. Yeah, I'm sure Coach Burr knows, but I don't know if the opposing coaches know that our crowd mic is right down there at midfield, and it's hot at all times, so never know what you're going to hear. Yeah. Shots. Nora Sampson grabs it. So that's a couple of times now that Chattanooga has decided to just have one from outside of the 18. And Sampson was there to grab it. We're over two-thirds of the way home here in half number one. And a 24th minute goal from Hannah Farr, assist to Nieva Gaither, has Furman on top 1-0. Mocs.
Oh, great ball in there.
Yep. Left-footed shot. Sampson got just enough of it to push it wide of the post. And Chattanooga had an excellent opportunity. That was Berna Yana-Dotter.
Yeah, Yana-Dotter does a good job there of making the progressive run in behind. A good find from the midfield. Left-footed shot. Sampson ranges to her left and makes an incredible save. Pokes it just wide, but still dangerous opportunity here for Chattanooga, who we've seen.
Does she touch it? Does she get just like a finger on it? That might have gone in the net. And I think she just got a piece. Would you agree?
Yeah, it looks like maybe her fingertips, because that looked bound to go into the goal,
yes.
But definitely a little bit of a change of direction. Chattanooga looking to threaten off this corner kick, and Furman will clear it out, but still, Nora Sampson probably saves a goal right there with their efforts.
I agree, and great camera work. Long ball into the box, off the crossbar. Chattanooga's right there, and they score. So kind of an awkward and strange play. Well, wait a second. Chattanooga. Is there an offsides call? That's Kennedy Heverin. Are we getting an offsides call on this? Head referee appears to say so. So the long ball into the box, I guess they're saying she was offsides.
I'm just going to say this right now.
I'm not sure that's not the right call. Sampson
No.
did get a piece of the ball, which would reset everything.
Yeah, but that's still not offsides off of the save. Off of the original shot, Heverin was very clearly onside. That should be 1-1 here, and that looks like it's going to be ruled off for offsides. It's very improbable that a Moc player would have been offsides on such a long shot right there. We saw the replay, some great camera work. Kennedy Heverin was very clearly onside when the original shot was fired, so I'm not sure I agree with that call, and I think Chattanooga got robbed a little bit here, full transparency.
Hard to disagree with that, but Furman keeps the 1-0 lead.
But can we, while it may have been the wrong call, can we give Nora Sampson her credit for the original save?
Yes.
That was an incredible original save to even, give the opportunity for the call to be made as she was ranging backwards, was able to parry it off the crossbar. Heverin was right there for the follow-up, but was called offsides.
So Furman keeps their 1-0 advantage. We're under 10 minutes now remaining in the first half. And the energy levels after that, Faxon, just went up even higher, right? Both teams are feeling it now. Let's look at that one more time. That's about 30 yards out. Sampson just gets enough to redirect it off the crossbar.
And she looked onsides to me, Mark.
It's hard to disagree. We have the benefit of replay. Of course, they do not down on the field. Furman will take it.
Regardless, that's going to, pad Nora Sampson's stats a little bit, and her campaign continues to get even stronger for the Paladins, adding another save to the shot total.
Yep, she has 5 saves already. Again, just got a piece of it to redirect it off the crossbar. What a weird play. Mocs not giving up, though. Still looking for the equalizer. I'm not sure the ball's gotten back over midfield in the last 4 minutes or so for Furman, as Chattanooga just continues to come in waves. try to equalize this before the first half ends.
Yeah, and Furman, you know, obviously they're up 1-0. Chattanooga's had some really quality opportunities on their own. As you said, you know, they forced Nora Sampson into 5 separate positions where she's had to make a save. One of those, you know, was where she was outstretched full length to her left and barely fingertipped one wide of the goal. And then that one, able to punch it off the crossbar to make a save. So Chattanooga is threatening. They look like they're poised to score in this match. Furman's probably going to need another goal if they're going to want to come out with 3 points. So they've got to find a way to, you know, recoup from the recent bombarding on Nora Sampson and gain some possession in the midfield, you know, get back to their principles offensively and find a way to get Nieva Gaither the ball in space to create another opportunity, because the best 2 chances Furman's had all match have been off a Gaither pass and a Gaither shot.
A.K. Anderson into the match for Chattanooga. Here come the Mocs again. They've had some success shooting from a long way out. They do this time, and it goes way wide. It'll be a goal kick for Furman. So if you're A.K. Anderson, you're wearing number 11. Aren't you missing the opportunity there to wear a different number as A.K.?
Yeah, 47.
Yeah, AK 40. Wouldn't you wear that? Wouldn't that be like your default number at all times?
I was like the old NBA player Andre Karolinko. He always wore 47 to give into the nickname.
Yeah, because he was AK. Yeah. AK 47. There you go.
AK 11 does sound good though. It's kind of like, it's got like the same ending to it.
Yeah. A little over 6 minutes remain. Chattanooga keeping the pressure on. You can see why they're the #1 team in the conference. They are dominating possession right now, keeping this Furman defense back on their heels.
Furman substitutions in the 39th minute. Number 4, Stella Garcia.
Stella Garcia coming in.
Replacing Hannah Farr.
And Furman desperate to get some possession in their half of the field. Out of their half of the field, excuse me. Chattanooga. Keeping the pressure on. Boy, the middle third of the field, Chattanooga is so strong, winning that possession. Their midfielders are very aggressive to turn and immediately turn that into offensive opportunities. I've been very impressed.
Yeah, and you hear the coaching staff for UTC shouting keeper there when Furman's in their own end, and doing a good job of kind of adjusting to this Furman tactics and enacting this high press. It's been able to create some extra possessions, as you're seeing one right here. UTC threatening, trying to equalize this match at 1.
Another shot from a long way out. Chattanooga's had 4 or 5 from way out there. It's almost been successful a couple of times. That Furman back line staying strong in the box. Under 5 now remaining here in half number 1. Chattanooga looking for a draw or a win to secure at least a portion of the regular season women's soccer title. It's been an amazing year for them. They would love to have that #1 seed as well going into the SoCon tournament. Furman on a run out. Chattanooga had been pushing a lot of bodies up, and Furman coming the other direction with it.
I'm kind of surprised to not see a foul call there, but referee's going to let him play. And credit to Furman, who's worked their way back in to the play right there. It looks like Julie Galley.
And that at least gave him a minute or two to breathe. This is Chattanooga offensive attack continuing to build stronger and stronger. We got players slipping a number of times. Chattanooga keeps possession. So a good free kick opportunity for a set piece. High ball into the box, bounces around. And there's going to be some, I don't know if it was offsides or just some contact in the box.
Looks like a foul call.
Yeah, I'm guessing the latter.
Looked like a foul call there, and, Furman gets away again, a threatening opportunity. Talking about a Chattanooga squad that had 10 shots here in this first half.
Yeah,
they put 5 of them on target. They've got 4 corner kicks as well, and they've really only been threatened by 2 opportunities, one of which was put in the back of the net. So Furman doing a better job of cashing in on their chances, but, Chattanooga hasn't been strapped for chance creation, rather, in the first half, because there have been an ample amount of chances. Norris Sampson's just done a good job of shutting them down.
Sampson's been great in goal, and then again, I think the benefit of the call, the offsides call that was a bit controversial, to keep Chattanooga off the board. To see that high pressure continuing to get more and more intense for Chattanooga, especially with just a couple of minutes left in the half.
Yeah, 2 minutes left in the first half here, and it's imperative that Furman goes into halftime with the lead. Yeah, you can't give up a goal here in the last 2 minutes of the half.
Paladins clear it. Chattanooga immediately wins possession again. Boy, that first half whistle cannot come soon enough for the Paladins. They're under duress right now.
Yeah, got to get the ball out here if you're the back line. This needs to be a big clearance, and it is. But still, the Mocs just are in such great shape here in the midfield right now, doing a good job of retaining possession with this pressure.
Gaither. Drops it back. Well, there's some contact from behind by one of the Chattanooga defenders. Be a free kick for Furman. My guess is they're going to take their time with this. They would love to go into half with a 1-0 lead. Yeah, a little bit too aggressive, some high contacts. Don't think any complaints there. See, we're under a minute remaining now in half number 1. And a good first half between Furman and Chattanooga. The Mocs have dominated on just about every aspect of the board, except where it counts and score. And that's a free kick for Furman. And if they hustle, they got a little bit over 20 seconds. You've got a chance to put a shot here on directly, or see what you can come up with.
Coach McKinney was shouting, "It's not a foul."
Yeah.
That's what his
And they
comment
stopped the
was.
clock. Looks like the referee stopped the clock. That's a benefit to Furman.
Yeah, Furman will have a chance here in what is more than likely the last play of the first half to either put a shot on target or put a cross into the box. Personally, I think this is shooting territory.
I do too. Helen Gutierrez.
But you don't have Shania Diaz, who is your main set-piece taker, who's put so many of them on target and threatened for the Paladins. So, this is not going to be your guy on set pieces right here, but you are going to have a chance to threaten regardless.
Gutierrez going to use that left foot. See if she can double this lead before the half. There's the whistle. Gutierrez with the low shots. That'll be an easy grab for Eckern. You hear the public address announcer count things down. And a 24th minute goal from Hannah Farr will give the Furman Paladins the 1-0 halftime lead over the Chattanooga Mocs. Been a fun half of soccer. They've had some health issues, been missing a lot of players recently due to illness. You haven't had Jake Rain for a large portion of the season. If the men can get healthy, again, they were picked near the top of the standings in the Southern Conference. You never know. Get into the postseason and make some magic happen.
Yeah, Doug Allison's been on that stage countless times before, as has Andrew Burr. So, while this has not been the greatest of regular seasons for either side of the programs here for soccer for Furman, both coaches are so experienced and both squads are so talented when they're at full health that these aren't teams you want to see in the playoffs by any means on either side.
So Furman in the all-white will be going right to left this half. Chattanooga in the blue and yellow will be going left to right. Furman trying to come up with the first offensive look. of the second half. And they'll force the throw. Cameron Bullock, the junior, will push up to make the throw. Referee makes her take a couple of steps back. Long ball looking for Hannah Farr. Couldn't make the connection. Furman keeps the possession. Such a great facility here at Stone Stadium in Greenville, South Carolina. One of the most beautiful college campuses in the country. If you've never had an opportunity to come here and check out this facility and the campus itself, you need to make that happen, especially this time of year. Mark Childress here with Facts and Childress. Been a fun match so far, especially if you're a Furman fan. Boy, Goyla was almost off to the races. It's a nice pass from Hannah Farr. Furman will continue to build the attack. You see 72 degrees, the flag in the background. That'll lead to a goal kick for Chattanooga. Flag blowing just a little bit, but not having an impact on play here at all. What tactical changes, Faxon, do you anticipate from Chattanooga? Again, they got a ton of offensive looks. I can't imagine they're going to change a lot here in the second half.
Yeah, you do need to be a little bit cleaner in the final third if you're Chattanooga, and I think that, you know, making that final pass, we did see them fire a lot of outside of the box shots. While they have proven that they are capable of scoring those over the course of the season, then they fired some really difficult shots on Nora Sampson tonight as well. You would like to see one or two more additional link-up passes in the final third to potentially create a better chance closer to goal, maybe get a one-on-one. Furman's, the only lone goal of the match was Furman's goal, and that was Neva Gaither playing Hannah Farr in behind the defense, and it was at the final pass of a link-up in the final third. So maybe just cleaning up things a little bit in the final third, but I thought Chattanooga looked like a pretty good side in the first half, and a risky juke there by Nora Sampson, but does a great job with it and then booms it about the half field.
Yeah, that's a good point. A lot of Chattanooga's shots, including the best scoring opportunity that they had with the weird controversial, we'll call it, offsides call that benefited the Paladins. That was a shot from way out as well. So a number of their shots that ended up in the arms of Nora Sampson were from outside of the 18, outside of the box. You hear both benches doing a lot of talking, being very active. Furman a bit sloppy with the ball in the back. You do not want to do that against this Chattanooga team. All of the other four matches are underway in the second half as well in the Southern Conference. I'll try to keep an eye on these scores for you, but the Citadel now leads 4-1 over VMI, so that puts even more pressure on Furman to need to get the outright win here today to try to stay out of those first round games on Tuesday. Citadel currently behind Furman in the standings, but with the win today would pass them unless Furman can get a win of their own. Mocs shoot from outside the box again, right to Nora Sampson. In fact, and that's what you were just talking about. That Furman back line really putting so much pressure on. If they get any kind of gap at all, they're taking it, even when they're probably a little bit too far out to be able to realistically score. I mean, that's good 22, 23 yards out.
Yeah, and what Furman's doing is doing a good job of holding their shape defensively, and it's causing UTC to kind of bomb these shots from outside of the box. If you're Chattanooga, you have to find a way to get more players into your attack here. You know, you're down 1-0, obviously. You need to start pushing your wingbacks forward a little bit more, or maybe your holding midfielders are coming up a little bit and providing a different passing outlet, because while you have had some quality chances, most of them have come from outside of the box. You have to find a way to have some better link-up play in the final third to create more quality chances inside of the box.
Sylvie Keck working the ball down. Gutierrez with a little bit of space to Hannah Farr. Oh, really nice athletic move from Farr.
Great
Long
ball.
through pass. That is a great ball. Good opportunity coming for the Paladins. They try to make the cross. Madison Luckett couldn't come up with it. And the Mocs head in the other direction. Felt like in the first half, this middle third of the field was a place that Chattanooga really owned. The Paladins doing a good job in the middle third so far here in the second half to kind of turn the tide there.
Yeah, they've come out strong and, established themselves in the midfield in the second half. I know Coach Burr was definitely motivating his girls in the locker room coming into the second half saying, hey, it's a good job getting up 1-0 in the first half, but the job's not finished. We've got a lot to play for. Our season's not over. We've got a lot to play for in the standings. We've got a lot to play for, to avoid an extra matchup. So Furman coming out motivated here in the second half, determined to get these 3 points that would be ever so vital to their campaign as a whole.
These two teams will meet on the football field here in Greenville on Saturday. A lot riding on that game as well. Chattanooga at the top of the standings in football. Furman with just one conference loss on the season right behind them. Would love to beat Chattanooga here on Saturday. Give themselves a chance to potentially win the Southern Conference this year. Sanford sitting right there in the middle of it as well. A dangerous play. Paladins almost get a break as Hannah Farr came in and deflected the shot from Eckern as she was trying to clear the ball. Boy, that could have been a disaster for Chattanooga.
Yeah, definitely a crisis averted there for Chattanooga. Coming in and storming the goalie on a clearance and able to make contact with the ball. If that ball bounced anywhere else, it could have been a Paladin goal to double their lead. So a fortunate break for Chattanooga regardless.
So we talked about some of the unique statistical things about this Chattanooga team early in this match. They've only scored 15 goals this season. They've only given up 17 goals, and that includes the one they've given up here today. So they're negative in goal differential for the season, yet atop the Southern Conference standings. Very unusual. Another shot from way out. This one's going to go over everything. And the Mocs continue to rely on that shot in the, I'd say, 19 to 25-yard range. Here's Farr. Just goes right in on the attack, and you're right. If she'd have turned her body the other direction, that might have been hit right into the goal.
Yeah, definitely a fortunate break and a scary scenario for Chattanooga at the back right there. But offensively, it's just getting a little bit repetitive for the Mocs right now. Firing these outside of the box shots, and they're capable of making them. And some of these hits have looked really good and forced Nora Sampson into the position to make some difficult saves. But there comes a point in time where you have to adjust. You're working against the clock at this point, as well as the Paladins. There's 36 minutes and some change remaining here. You've got to switch something up to try and generate some better chances because the outside of the box shots have not generated a goal here through about 50 minutes in this one.
Mocs in that same area of the field again. They've driven so much of their offensive attack through the middle portion of the field. There's another shot from way out. Thought that might have been deflected, but they're going to call that a goal kick. They're not working the wings at all, Faxon. They're not trying to run down in the corners and throw one back into the box. They're trying to attack just straight down the middle. You see that shot from Shelby Hash.
In the 54th minute, number 10, Cameron Whitaker, replacing number 23, Ashlyn Goyla.
Here, Cameron Whitaker in for the Paladins. One of the 4 seniors on this team. I know you talked with Andrew Burr. I know Mike Vaughn did a game for me the other week, and he talked to Coach Burr as well. He didn't call this a rebuilding season, but there is a lot of youth on this team. You've also kind of had the injury bug this year. Maya Poplin, who's one of the best players, not just on your team, but in the conference, has barely played for Furman at all this year due to an injury. So it's been kind of a unique personnel year for the Paladins.
Definitely so, and as you said, Coach Burr did not use the term rebuilding year, but from an outsider looking in, it might be a bit of a rebuilding year for the Paladin squad. There's just so much youth that to only have 4 seniors. For some reference, when Furman played Sanford had 6 seniors starting.
Good shot in the box. At least that's the opportunity in that extra link pass that you were talking about.
Yeah. And that's the best attack I've seen from Chattanooga thus far in this game, pretty much. And that's more of what they need to do going forward, because I do think that this Furman defense is susceptible to opening up those passing lanes in the final third. If you're making the additional link-up passes, UTC does a really good job of it right there. You might want to see a little bit better of an effort on the shot with the end products in the final third, but I do like the willingness to change. I do like the additional pass right there.
Mocs on the attack again. Try to throw one inside. It's deflected. Good job by Sampson to come out and grab that. This is starting to look like the first half again, with Chattanooga keeping the offensive attack pressure on. Looked like Gutierrez got a foot on that. Both teams fight for control. Chattanooga settles. They work it out to the wing. Again, we were just talking about this. We've barely seen this at all from the Mocs for a good portion of this match. Just shut down defensively by the Paladins. It did go off on one of the Furman players, though. Chattanooga will keep possession with the throw. Looked like Luckett. Tried to find Gaither out in space. Here come the Mocs again. Gaither gets a foot on that one.
Yeah, good pressure from the Ava to just kind of make Chattanooga reset. And, you know, if you're Chattanooga, there's 33 minutes left to dictate the entire result of your season at this juncture. So you have to score a goal right here to at least give yourself a chance to have a share of that title at minimum after such a historic season for them.
Boy, some pushing from both players. Referee lets it go. It was right in front of him. Chattanooga, dangerous part of the field from outside of the box. A deflected shot right to the feet of Nora Sampson.
Yeah, and Sampson's going to kill some time here and dribble a little bit and go pick it up, as once again that clock is ticking and it's working on the Paladins side. So Furman playing a little bit of survival game here. You know, Chattanooga's still dominating on the stat sheet. Furman hasn't registered a shot here in the second half, which is a little bit concerning. But, you know, if you're the Paladins, you need to get your feet wet a little bit offensively still. You need to find a way to start generating something and threaten, because it does look like Chattanooga is threatening to score to potentially equalize this match, and you do need 3 points here. So you're going to need a second goal, in my opinion, if you're going to want to win this match outright.
Western Carolina is taking a 1-0 lead on ETSU, so that makes an outright win for Furman even more important. That's the team that Furman is currently tied for in that 7th position in the standings. Like we were saying, one goal in any of these matches just shifts so much. Chattanooga does know this, though. They are at least co-champions in the regular season if they get a draw here today. So they need to find a way to get a goal. Attack on the wing. Bullock shuts it down. Be a good opportunity here for UTC.
Corner kick, Chattanooga.
As they are coming up with a corner kick. This will be their 5th one today. We saw them hit the post on one of these earlier in this match. That's going to go wide out to the right. No opportunity at all. And as we approach the 1/3 of the way mark here in half number 2, Furman still clinging to that 1-0 lead.
Yeah, and clinging is definitely the right word, because they're getting outshot 15-4 by Chattanooga. And Nora Sampson's had to make 6 saves in this one. I think Furman needs to start playing a little bit more aggressive. There is a sense of complacency here in the second half and just kind of sitting back and letting it come to them. Their success in the first half came from being the aggressor, so they really need to recapture that aggression and, you know, put it full-fledged forward here over the last 30 minutes of their regular season.
Chattanooga with 15 shots to just 4 for Furman. So they're actually getting off shots at an even faster rate here in the second half than they did the first.
Yeah, Chattanooga looks comfortable. I know the scoreboard says 1-0,
Yeah.
but they're really getting to their spots and they're getting shots off frequently, as you said. You know, you would like to see a little bit more link-up play in the final third, as we've talked about, but we have seen some progression in that as well, as they look poised to get another shot here. Going to test Nora Sampson, who makes her 7th save in the match.
And Sampson just grabs a few seconds off the clock wherever she can a couple of times already here in half number 2. Not that Furman's parking the bus, they're not doing that, but you can tell they're thinking a 1-0 win would be just fine with us. The clock is their best friend right now. Furman can use a little possession of their own in the Chattanooga half of the field. As they work on a switch. Complete it now. It's Robertson. Johnson.
That's going to be a foul.
Gaither with a quick turn and hits the deck hard. Be a free kick for Furman. Boy, she's so, look how she was gone. She was going to take off. You know how quick she is in the open field. Not necessarily a bad foul.
No, definitely a pretty smart foul there. And anytime you can slow Nieva Gaither down with whatever means possible, it's probably the smart idea to do it right there. Gaither is turning and looking poised to make another attack. We've already seen her with an assist in this one. A pretty smart foul there by the Mocs to slow down the Furman attack. And, you know, an awkward angle here for this free kick.
They reset the angle, throw one into the box. A lot of Paladins there. The header goes right to Eckern. Nice play. Furman's first real good look here of the second half.
Yeah, and you know, it's a weird angle, so you play it out right, and you get more of an ideal angle for a swing into the box, and that will be another free kick for the Paladins. But a good set piece there by Furman. They get their first shot and shot on target of the second half. A good job by Eckern to handle that one and, you know, neutralize the threat for the Mocs, who try and stay in this match and find a way to equalize.
That last header was from Mosquera.
Wow.
The freshman. Yeah, I bet that hurts. That was a full-on blast from Bolick. Well, hope the Mocs player is okay. Looks like a stoppage of the clock. I don't know if that hit her in the face or what. Looks like it's Grace Klippenstein. She's going to walk that off. Give her some time. I'll give her plenty of time. Boy.
It's not ideal, obviously. I had a couple of those in my day where you get your bell rung and it's like it's the worst feeling in the world in the moment. But as you see right there, Bolick blasted. That's just putting your body on the line right there. She's got the wind knocked out of her a little bit and should be able to shake back, and play resumes now.
Well, I will say this, at least it's the 70-degree game and not the 42-degree game
the
other night, because it'd have hurt 3 times as worse if that would have happened on Friday night.
And you can see your breath and you start, you know, gasping for air. Yeah, so with the ideal conditions in this afternoon game, if there's ever a time to get the wind knocked out of you, it would probably be now and rather of a frigid game.
You can feel the intensity growing on both teams. You're seeing the physicality go up from both teams as well. Coach Burr giving his squad some direction. Mercer and UNC Greensboro still scoreless in the second half. Western Carolina on top of ETSU 1-0. Sanford on top of Wofford 2-1. The Citadel all over VMI 5-1. So a lot of shakeup in the bottom part of the standings. Furman's got to get a win today to protect themselves here at this point. You can see the pressure from Chattanooga growing. Not giving the Paladins an inch anywhere, making them work for every pass. Trying to force a mistake.
Get up! Get up!
Furman will eat a little bit of possession, take a breather. Now here come the Mocs. You see that high pressure. Maggie Miller. Can't make the connect on the long pass. Comes right back to Miller. Controlled by the Mocs. See Hannah Farr really the only player up top at all for Furman. Not that they've gone completely into defensive mode, but they're going to make sure they have plenty of bodies back. Nieva Gaither tries to make the turn, earns the throw in. Will slow down the attack for now, at least. There's Hannah Farr. Tried to slide it over to Mascara, couldn't make the connect. The ball gets into Chattanooga territory for the first time in a while.
That's going to be a foul.
Yeah, Gaither gets knocked down again.
And between Gaither and Farr, Furman has two of the better foul drawers in the entire conference as well. They both get fouled a lot.
Especially Gaither, she's just 5'3", and you get in leverage against some of those bigger defenders. She does a good job at drawing that contact. And you're right, Farr, opposite, 5'11", also does a good job of drawing some.
And we've got them working together up top. It just creates a lot of confusion because they're both so different. It looks like a yellow card will be issued here to a Paladin.
Is that on Maggie Miller? I mean, could that be for some type of delay of game or something like that? Clock is stopped. Head referee Kyle Johnston delivers the yellow card. Not sure what happened. We're waiting on the whistle and we'll be back to action. See the yellow card graphic. Not real sure what's going on or why the extended delay. There's the whistle. Ball all the way down to the box.
And it looks like that yellow card will go on Maggie Miller for Furman.
Furman taking their time. That's Bolick with the throw, looking for Farr. Farr grabs it and turns, taking on two defenders. Has some space in the box. Fires one in, off of the goalkeeper. Gaither gathers, gets a foot on it. And Eckern comes down with it. An excellent opportunity for Furman that almost doubled their lead.
Wow, and Hannah Farr has really been the star of the match here this afternoon for the Paladins. Really good job of turning and going there. Fires a shot that probably would have gone into the back of the net. Eva Gaither ends up gathering back post, swinging one back in, and Mascara not able to get the foot on the makeshift cross right there. But still, the Paladins showing some life here in the second half. They know how important this one is.
I was expecting the cross, but that was a stone-cold shot from Hannah Farr, and you're right, without a really athletic save from Eckern, it would have been 2-0.
Oh, nice nutmeg there.
Mocs on the run out to Smith. She drops it. Klippenstein now. Cuts it back to the center of the field. Mocs have some space and some numbers right now. It looked like Mackenzie Smith was thinking about the shot from way out again. Gaither, you know how quick she is.
Dangerous here for the Paladins.
In space as she goes on the attack. Oh boy, she took on just 4 different defenders by herself, and the last one got her. We're coming up on the halfway point of the second half. Furman on top of Chattanooga 1-0. A 24th minute goal from Hannah Farr is the difference so far.
So far?
Yeah. Oh, exactly. Yes, no pun intended, but thank you. Long ball into the box. Norris Sampson grabs it. Mark Childress here with Facts and Childress. Lots of implications in the standings for both teams. A lot riding on this match. Chattanooga wins it back. That back line's been so active, Faxon, and so aggressive. We just didn't see a lot of that against Samford, and I know Chattanooga's much different offensively on the attack than Samford is. Samford's probably the best offense in the Southern Conference, one of the best in the South, to be honest with you. But they've been very active and just not letting Chattanooga get comfortable or grab that ball with their back to the goal hardly at all.
A lot more energy, a lot more cohesiveness as a unit. It's just been all around better today for the Paladins.
Number 11, A.K. Anderson. Replacing number 6, Grace.
The Citadel still up 5-1 on VMI. Samford 2, Wofford 1, Western Carolina 1, East Tennessee State nothing. UNC Greensboro and Mercer currently scoreless.
Chattanooga.
Chattanooga, their 6th corner kick. Trying to find the equalizer. Zoe Mize comes over to take it. She sets up to go in with her left. Great ball into the box. Headed into the goal by the Mocs, and we are tied at 1. That is Mackenzie Smith with her 5th goal of the season, and Chattanooga gets exactly what they needed. What a goal.
And Mackenzie Smith hit the post on a corner kick earlier in this match. If there was one girl you need to mark on the Mocs, it's the leading goal scorer. Does a great job of putting one into the back of the net there, back post. Nora Sampson came out to try and claim it, missed it. No one was on the line to make up for that, and Mackenzie Smith makes the Paladins pay.
Yeah, 70th minute goal. 1-1 now between Chattanooga and Furman. And as it stands right now, if it were to end this way, Chattanooga would earn at least a tie for the regular season title in the Southern Conference. And this could be very costly for Furman as they're trying to stay out of those first round games on Tuesday.
And you could smell it coming for Chattanooga. 17 shots, 8 of those on goal, 6 corner kicks. They have had ample opportunity in this match thus far, and able to pay dividends right there as Mackenzie Smith's able to get it done for the Mocs.
So if Furman comes up with a draw in this match, as it stands right now, that's still going to be problematic for them because they're tied for the 7th seed with Western Carolina right now, who is winning. The Citadel's behind them in 9th in the standings. The Citadel's also winning. So both of those teams could secure 3 points apiece, with Furman only getting 1. That's not going to be of help to them. There's a lot of soccer left. See the updated scores right there. So with Western Carolina winning, the Citadel winning, those are 2 teams that are either tied with or behind Furman in the standings as they stand right now. Also, if that Samford victory were to hold and things stay where they are here, then Samford and Chattanooga would tie for the regular season title. So again, just a goal here or there in any of these matches pivot things significantly.
Yeah, and now we're going to have to monitor these other matches even more because if I'm not mistaken, Samford has had a share or has won the title outright in, is it 8 consecutive seasons?
It's been a while, yes.
So Chattanooga could break that streak for Samford if they're able to get another goal and come out with 3 points in this one. A lot on the line all across the SoCon right now, and that Mackenzie Smith goal really shook things up.
Paladins have some numbers. Let that ball roll out of bounds. It'll be a throw in for the Mocs. A little bit over 18 minutes remaining. This match tied at 1. Bolick over to Johnson, who makes the switch. Furman building up the numbers on the attack now. Robertson with a long ball. Headed out by the Mocs. Chattanooga fires from outside of the box, and a diving save by Nora Sampson. I tell you what, when that came off of her foot, I thought it was going to be in the nets. Nora Sampson continues an excellent day in goal.
And that's just an incredible hit right there. And Nora Sampson ranging to her right may have just saved Samford's chances at getting a share of the title in the SoCon. Full extension and not able to just save it, but is able to corral it. Big save from Sampson keeps the Paladins in the match.
8 saves for Sampson. That's 18 shots now for Chattanooga, just 6 for Furman. That foul will go against Furman and be a free kick for Chattanooga. 9 shots on goal for Chattanooga. 8 saves by Sampson, and then you saw the goal a minute ago by Mackenzie Smith, and I'm not sure anybody could have saved it. Move the ball back just a little bit. Ball bounces right outside the 18. Cleared out by Furman. Mocs settle possession right at midfield. These two teams have met 29 times before today. Chattanooga has never gotten a tie or a win against Furman. They are 0-29 against Furman all time. So it's not just standings, it's not just a regular season title in the balance, it's history in the balance. Chattanooga has never had any success at all. Ball in the box, dangerous turn, deflected by a Paladin defender.
Wow.
And Sampson grabs it. That was an excellent opportunity for Chattanooga.
Yeah, Clarissa Salinas almost just gave Chattanooga the Southern Conference title. I mean, she hits that as hard as she can. A great job by Katie Bingoff to step in front of that and deflect it. Nora Sampson scoops it up. This last 10 minutes has been all Mocs. Furman desperately needs to regroup right here.
So we're just about 2/3 of the way now through half number 2. These two teams knotted at 1. Nieva Gaither, the ball clipped away from her. Gaither pushing up a little bit further offensively for the Paladins. Their best goal scorer and best offensive weapon. They play advantage. Goyla, there's a couple of defenders around her.
A good ball, can swing one into the box here.
Yeah, drops it back for Whitaker. Fires one in. Paladin backdoor off of the post.
Oh my goodness.
Cleared out by Chattanooga, and it was just about a goal. Looked like Mascara. Paladins keep on the pressure.
Goyle is still trying to send one back in, and will draw the Paladins' second corner kick of the match, but oh my goodness.
What a ball by Whitaker. And it looked like it went off the leg of Mascara. Boy, the best opportunity of the second half by far for the Paladins. They forced the corner kick. I tell you what, this has been a fun match, Faxon.
Definitely.
And there's so much hanging in the balance that every opportunity just has significance.
Yeah, and I don't think the 1-1 scoreline does it justice with how many opportunities have been created. I mean, Chattanooga's got almost 20 shots. Nora Sampson's been forced into some positions where she's had to make some crazy saves, and this has been an action-packed SoCon regular season finale. Furman trying to break the tie on this corner kick.
They go short. Paladins can't win it, but they will secure possession back near midfield. Bolick. Working well with Goyla. Fires one in again, but this one will go right to Eckern. Just over 13 minutes remain. So we're knotted at 1. Julia Nicholas, Maggie Miller sliding into the game. Ritzvalski and Joanna Dotter in the game for Chattanooga. Mocs throw one in. Nora Sampson goes off of her hands. Very dangerous. It looked like it was Robertson who was there to collect it. Sampson scooped it up, so a rare misplay from Sampson.
Yeah, and Sampson dangerous right there. Able to just grab it from her defender. Kind of lucky she didn't call for a back pass there. It's not intentional, but that's what Salinas was lobbying to the officials for. 12:30 left in this one, and so much riding on the line. A goal could change the entire trajectory of the Southern Conference standings.
Mocs keep coming offensively. Goyla. Paladin throw. It's a beautiful afternoon in Greenville, South Carolina. Temps in the low 70s. Slight breeze in the air for the final regular season match of the season for both of these teams. Remember, no overtime in play. There's a change made in college soccer this year, a change for the better, I feel like. Obviously, you will see that overtime come into play in the postseason, where you've got to have you can't have a draw in the postseason. Got to have a winner of every match. So you'll have the overtime put in place, and then obviously the penalty kicks to decide it if needed. Mocs continuing to build up the attack. Throw one into the box. Bounces around dangerously.
Wow.
Chattanooga tracks it down. That's a few times for both teams where we've had that ball go all the way through. There just hasn't been a body back door to get in the way. Furman just clears it out of bounds. I don't blame them. Mocs looking for a title. Could argue if they could find a way to get a goal here, it'd be one of the biggest goals in the history of the program. Clinching them a regular season title in women's soccer. Giving them their first ever victory over Furman in 30 games.
Yeah, that's going to be a foul there as Gaither's getting dragged to the ground.
Gaither's so good on the ball and so difficult to get off of the ball. You complimented her earlier on her ability to, yeah, I mean, she was putting a great move in place.
You got to foul her.
Yeah, Keck kind of grabbed a handful of her. I don't blame her. Miller. Mocs building up the attack. Paladins step in. Try for their counterattack, but it's deflected, and Chattanooga will track that down. We're under 10 minutes remaining now in the first half. Second half. Mercer has scored against UNC Greensboro. That puts Mercer in play potentially for a portion of the Southern Conference title. If things held right now, you would have Mercer, Samford, and Chattanooga in a three-way tie for the regular season title, if all three of these matches hold where they are.
Absolutely crazy.
Mocs in the box. The pass.
Wow.
Sampson again. Another excellent opportunity. Johanna Dodar. Sampson. Nora Sampson's going to sleep well tonight. She has been under duress for a large portion of this game. As important as the goal would be for Chattanooga, equally as important in the standings for the Paladins if they could find a way to get a 2-1 win. Pass across, one of the Paladins diving in front, just misses.
And that could have been it for Furman.
You see the pass again. Boy, just missed. Just a half beat off from being a great opportunity for Furman. Paladins clear, under 8 minutes. Gaither tries to drop it back to Goyla. Mocs are there on the intercept. Cleared out by Furman. You see the updates on the score. Western Carolina, Samford, VMI, and UNCG all with the lead right now.
25 NFR, replacing number 21 Nieva Gaither, number 27 Ellie Johnson, replacing Katie Bengoff. And number
This for Furman would be very close to a worst case scenario. Obviously they get the 1 point today, but having Western Carolina and the Citadel, teams they're tied with or ahead of in the standings, each securing the win and 3 points today, not good for Furman. Chattanooga keeps it in bounds. Robertson Clears it. Chattanooga keeps the pressure on. Furman. Turn it over.
Yeah, dangerous counterattack opportunity for the Mocs here. They've got numbers if they want it.
They've been building the attack through the middle for most of the game. They continue to do it here.
Great pass.
Turn. Oh, I thought she was going to take a shot. Decides to drop it back. Chattanooga shoots from way out. That's deflected by Goyla. Both teams fight for possession. They continue to. It's going to be a throw for the Mocs. Under 6 now remain. Looks like Hannah Farr is back in. Gaither is out momentarily. Ellie Johnson, Madison Luckett in for the Paladins as well. Klippenstein back in for Anderson for Chattanooga. Into the box on a run. Someone of the Mocs go to the ground, no call. A little bit over 5 minutes remain. Chattanooga just relentless in their attack the second half. That one's going to go wide of the goal. It'll be a goal kick for Furman. Keeping an eye on all these other matches, all of them in the last 10 minutes.
Number 21, Gaither.
So Gaither comes back in. Ball goes right to Chattanooga. And here they come again. Work in the middle of the field. Long shot, deflected. That's always dangerous, but an easy one for Sampson. She pushes everyone up. The Mocs looking for some magic here. This will be a free kick for Furman. 4 minutes remain, Faxon. What you thinking? It's been a great one.
It feels like a big moment is brewing, and yeah, this definitely has been a great and entertaining match. There's so much on the line. I know we're both keeping track of what else is going on around the rest of the Southern Conference at this point, but if Chattanooga's able to pull out a goal here in this last 3 minutes or so, it would give them the outright possession of the Southern Conference title.
Free kick for the Mocs. Under 4 minutes remain. None of the other matches in the conference have gone final yet. Actually, they have. Western Carolina beats East Tennessee State 1-0. Western Carolina and Furman were tied in that 7th slot coming into today. The Citadel's up 5-1 over VMI. They were in the 9th spot coming into today. They will pass Furman in the standings as well with that win. So Furman could use a late goal here in the last 3 minutes. Here come the Paladins on a counter. Long ball looking for Hannah Farr, goes a little bit too far. Eckern grabs it. Long clearance by the Paladins. Farr couldn't quite hold that. You can see what they're trying to do. Throw that long ball. Can Farr collect it with their back to the goal and drop it to Gaither? See if they can make something happen. Chattanooga, right down the middle of the field. Dangerous area. Deflected by the Paladins.
That's Mackenzie Smith lurking, the leading goal scorer, who's already got 1 for the Mocs here today.
Well, we were just talking about Hannah Farr wins a ball. Paladins have a ton of space. They're pushing up some numbers. Boy, they tried to hook one around to Gaither. That would have been an excellent opportunity. Chattanooga just has to clear it out of bounds, so a good opportunity for Furman here as we're under 2 minutes.
Furman substitution in the 89th minute. Katie Bengoff.
Katie Bengoff
Replacing Maggie Miller.
coming in for Miller. Throw in for Furman. To Farr. Turns and fires. I thought that might have been deflected out of bounds, but it will be a goal kick instead. So right around 90 seconds remain now. It's looking more and more like this one's going to end in a draw. Long ball from the Mocs. Just cleared out of bounds. Very smart play by Bengoff.
1 minute remaining in regulation. 1 minute.
Just 1 minute left. Mocs, very top of the box, try to get a shot off. They do, off of the crossbar and over the top. Are you kidding me?
Wow. And that was the Southern Conference title that just hit the crossbar
Yes.
right there. Unbelievable.
So it was an excellent shot from Salinas. Chattanooga looking for one more opportunity. 20 seconds remain. Do they have a chance to pull off a miracle here late? Furman clears it out. Blasted down by Chattanooga, and you hear the final seconds being counted down by the public address announcer, and this one is going to end in a draw. Chattanooga won, Furman won. This is the first time in 30 meetings that the Mocs have done anything against the Paladins.